Welcome inside our broadcast communication studios. Ryan Rose with you. We are talking Charlotte 49ers track and field. These are the folks that pretty much work from the day school starts all the way past graduation. It's one of the few groups that competes year-round and even into the summer. You know, that's the goal for a lot of these groups. And, of course, we've got Bob Olesen here to talk track and field with us. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. And two people that you will never see sitting in a seated position still like this. Every time you see them in action, it's a blur. We've got Briauna Jones, who is a junior on the team, and Isaac McReynolds, a senior on the end there. And speaking of competing deep into the year, these are two that got a real taste of going as far, almost as far as you can go as far as competing. And that's something that in the past, I guess now are your 8th year in the A10, you've sent a lot of individuals and groups like the 4x100 on to the next stage and then the next stage after that. That's got to be quite gratifying to be able to look across and go, yeah, these two, they have some postseason experience.
Oh yeah. These are some powerful scorers for us at the conference level, and then the national level potential. It's unique in the sport in that we have the conference level competition that's kind of team focused, but then we also have kind of a postseason which tends to be more individual focused on elite athletes. So as a sport, it's great as a coach and for the athletes to have kind of that dual element to their participation.
And from a coaching and teaching standpoint, you've got to coach the team part, and we're cheering for each other and pulling for each other. But the work that you guys do all year round on just individual skills, whether it be from just getting off the blocks, whether it be for the way you execute the final hurdle, just all the things that you have to manage, from pole vaulters to shot putters to all the different athletes and all their different skill sets. How do you manage all that with a group as large as you have?
You just use every hour of the day. I explain to people sometimes just how, the grand scope of our daily plan. We have people practicing many times as early as 6 or 7 in the morning, and then we're coming off the field maybe at 6 o'clock in the evening. And there's probably somebody from some group at some time practicing that entire period.
Wow! And if you drive by the track at any point, there's random people out there working. They're not just community people hanging out at the track. They're actually our student athletes getting it done. Let's talk about getting it done a little bit. Briauna, you guys, the 4x1 team, made it all the way to the NCAA finals. That's a lot of meets if you think back to just your last year here, your sophomore year, all the different competitions, all the different practices leading up to that moment. You got a taste of it. Now, what motivates you to get back there and get a little bit bigger bite of that coming up here late this year?
What motivates me is that I know the potential that our team has, and we just grow every year. And I know that a lot of us came so close to getting that far last year, and I know that, as well as myself and others, we're working towards not only getting there, but getting more events in, like the 4x1, but I also want to go in the individual events, and I want to put Charlotte on the map as a scoring team at NCAA.
Well, you're able to do that in the high jump and the long jump, which you won the A10 championships in 2011.
Yes.
So that gets points for the team, but individually that helps you as far as you want to post a good distance. And earlier this year, 40 at the Virginia Tech invite, your is it the triple jump, 40 feet.
Yes.
The triple jump looks to me like, because I played basketball and I'm right-handed, so I always jump off my left leg. Well, you can't be dominant in the triple jump. You have to jump off of each leg as you do it. It looks kind of awkward, but 40 feet.
Yeah, it's definitely hard because you do have a dominant leg, and the other one you have to work to be at least equal to that other leg to get you that distance. But it's really just, a lot of training and focus on what you're weak at. If your other leg isn't as strong, then obviously that's what I've been working on a lot. And 40 feet was really an accomplishment for me because this time last year I wasn't jumping that far. So I know that I am focusing on those little things that make that difference.
1.5 inches off of a qualifying list. So what is 1.5 inches? I mean, I know it's about that, but how do you build up to another quarter inch? What is that process like? I know it's an ongoing thing.
That 1.5 inches that you need is the difference between lifting your leg maybe 90 degrees versus 85 degrees. It's
Wow.
that smallest increment, and you may not even notice it. Sometimes when you get out the pit, like, you won't notice until they actually mark it, and it'll surprise you. But it's the smallest thing, but we train every day to try to make ourselves stronger so those things can become a little bit easier.
To get that extra inch, that's got it from a technical standpoint, like she said, it's the smallest little thing, and you guys as coaches, you're working constantly to get them to that, let them peak the absolute best they can do every, we want to be consistent obviously, but what is that process like as you go through? And it doesn't start in April, it doesn't start in March, it starts way back before they even get here in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's a year-long and even sometimes a career-long endeavor to try to bring up the physical capabilities of the athletes, but then also develop the technical execution that gets them there. And it's kind of that duality. And some people advance along the physical lines at different rates, and some people develop their technique at different rates. And so she's right. Sometimes a couple inches of knee lift or a little bit more extension here or there, can make a huge difference in the end result.
A guy who also deals with the technical side of it, Isaac, won the 60-meter hurdles last year at the indoor champs, but also, to my count, and I was trying to dig back through your bio, set the school record, I think, and beat it twice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Set the school record in the 110 hurdles and then beat it again, especially in crunch time in the regionals. You beat your own school record at the regionals. So you'll talk about peaking at the right time, but it's still, you're trying to shave hundreds of seconds off of that time. What is that process like for you?
The process for me is it's a working process. Depending on what the coach has me doing, he usually has me peaking at the right time. Like you said, at regionals is when I usually peak. But shaving off that little 1/10 of a second is something as simple as getting my lead leg down a little bit faster, driving my leg up a little bit higher out of the blocks, leaning at the line at the end. So we're getting it together.
Now, the last time you actually had the Charlotte jersey on was last year at the regionals.
Yes.
So it's been, because your indoor eligibility is up, everything now for you is kind of funneling towards that outdoor season.
Right.
What have you put your body through this year to get the maximum out of yourself when it comes time?
Well, more than anything this year is more mental. It's very hard to train for a long amount of time and not compete, at least with the team. I'm starting to get used to competing on my own. But physically, getting a lot stronger in the weight room, focusing a lot more on keeping my health up, because I've been plagued with injuries throughout my career. But this year, I think I've been doing a lot better job of keeping my health good and in good shape.
Briauna is going to be competing in the conference indoor championships at the middle of February, but then you have that overlap crossover part where some people start going to outdoor meets right along that same time. Isaac probably one of those people. Get a little chaotic here as the changeover happens from A10s, and some people are moving towards, because distances get a little longer outdoors and things like that.
It does a little bit, especially when, from a coaching standpoint, you're planning that periodization and who's doing what. And so there are a few weeks there where you got people going a lot of different ways. But the academic calendar helps us a little bit, because as we exit the indoor conference championship, we're getting close to the spring break period. So usually some of the folks that are finished with their indoor do a little bit of work, and then we have spring break. And we use that as a natural kind of divider to unload people just a little bit from some of maybe the nagging injuries and things they had from the indoor season, and get ready to ramp up things for the outdoors. And the post-conference people indoors, we can kind of focus in on them a little bit and try to maximize their performances to try to make that cut into the national championship.
And then, speaking of schedule changeover, 3 more meets you can catch out at the track this season, the Irwin Belk Track and Field 49er Classic in mid-March, the Charlotte Invitational about third weekend of April, and then the A10 Championships first weekend of May. We appreciate you guys stopping in for a few minutes. Coach Bob Olesen, Briauna Jones, Isaac McReynolds, good luck to both of you this season. Isaac, we're going to send you out with an A10 championship. I know that's the goal for him and the team. We got you for one more year, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see some big things coming. I know they've got the rings on from the A10 titles a year ago, so we're hoping that we can get some more jewelry for these athletes. Good luck to all 3 of you. We will see you out to track and field. You have no excuse not to come out. You've got 3 chances to watch these individuals compete and the teams compete. We hope we'll see you out there. Go Niners.